Greetings, everyone, and welcome to a special Halloween closer look and disambiguation. So, as most of you will know, over the past several years, I've been slowly piecing together the Hammer Horror Blu-ray collection. Well, that collection is largely complete now, so I thought, what better time than to do some closer looks at some significant parts of that collection, and maybe do a little disambiguation of some of the series within the collection. So today we're beginning with the biggest ongoing series of films in the Hammer Horror Collection, none other than the Prince of Darkness himself, Dracula. Today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. So, after the success of The Curse of Frankenstein in 1957, Hammer was keen to see if they could repeat that success with another of moviedom's most famous monsters, Dracula. So in 1958 they put out Dracula, starring Christopher Lee, known as Horror of Dracula over in North America land. And, well, lightning hit twice, and they had another hit on their hands. And going forward, it wasn't long before they became known as the premier gothic horror studio in all of the world. So between 1958 and 1974, Hammer produced no less than 9 Dracula films. Yeah, pretty interesting because the first 6 of them actually have a pretty tight continuity. They actually lead right from one into the next. And then they did kind of a soft reboot where they moved the series to modern day. And then finally the last one is only peripherally related, really kind of its own thing, but still a lot of fun. So, let's head on down to the black table and we'll check out all 9 of them in original release date order, so you'll know what order they go in. Let's check them out. Okay, so we begin with the one that started it all, Horror of Dracula. Now this actually uses a British print, so it has the original UK title of just Dracula. But we'll talk a bit about that in a second here. There we go. Very nice. Sadly, a couple of minor issues with this. First off, no extras. It's bare bones. Do have very nice discard on here. I guess we can spin it around that way. There we go. Yeah, very lovely discard. But here's the thing. Down here it says, note, this presentation of Horror of Dracula is based on the British Film Institute restoration of 2007, and additional elements subsequently discovered. As such, it bears its original UK release title of Dracula. Now, what are these additional elements that were subsequently discovered? Well, in the UK, they actually found a Japanese print, specifically the last 4 reels of a Japanese print of Dracula that had some additional snippets of film that were censored in the UK release. So, naturally, they took those elements, restored them, and reincorporated them into the film. So, BFI had done a lovely restoration of the uncut UK version, or as uncut as it was at the time, in 2007. And then when the additional footage was discovered in 2011, that was added back in. And then a lovely 3-disc Blu-ray set was released in the UK. Now, to be fair, it's 1 Blu-ray and 2 DVDs. But it included both the UK version and the uncut version with the additional footage from the Japanese prints. Plus, as a bonus, it includes the 4 unrestored reels of the Japanese print, so you can see it just kind of as it was discovered, and all kinds of other cool featurettes and whatnot. Unfortunately, that edition is Region B locked. So, My question is, this says it's based on the 2007 BFI restoration, plus additional elements subsequently discovered. Well, what additional elements? Does it have the new footage incorporated in, or not? According to most fans, it does not. It's just the older version, and an older transfer of the older version for that matter. So, kind of a lackluster beginning to the saga here in North America for the Blu-ray releases. Yeah. Warner Archive did do a really nice super deluxe edition of Curse of Frankenstein recently, which includes a lot of alternate versions of the film to enjoy. So one hopes that at some point, perhaps they'll revisit this one, and we'll get a properly deluxe version of Horror of Dracula as well. So if you're wondering about the astronomical difference between the 2012 fully uncut version restored from the Japanese print versus the 2007 uncut, well, almost uncut UK version, in terms of running time, get this, 7 whole entire seconds. Yes, it's a difference of 7 seconds between the two cuts. However, it's 7 seconds of additional blood and guts footage, which, you know, come on. That's the whole big deal with Hammer, is they were the ones that made the blood run red. We saw blood for the first time in a Dracula film. So we want all of it. Every single drop. All 7 glorious additional seconds. So come on, Warner Archive. Come on. Give us a deluxe edition of this like you did with Curse of Frankenstein. You know you want to. Well, we want you to. So please, please do that. So, moving on to film number 2 in the Hammer Dracula cycle, we have the complete opposite of what we got with Horror of Dracula. We have The Brides of Dracula, which does not feature Christopher Lee, but does feature this other vampire fellow and some lovely vampire women as well. I really like this one a lot. It's actually a lot of fun and a very nice entry. And it does actually continue on pretty cleanly from the previous one. But then the third one also continues pretty cleanly from the previous one. So you can kind of take it or leave it if you personally prefer to just watch the Christopher Lee ones. But this actually does fit into the saga quite nicely. So this is a lovely edition from Scream Factory, which of course has a reversible cover, which has the original poster art there. This is new artwork commissioned for this release. And then inside, we have some lovely disc art. And you can see underneath that it is actually the same artwork as the slipcover. It's one of the reasons I like to get the slipcovers for these releases, so we can have both artwork. So let's just take a look at that, and we'll quickly go over the extras, because there's actually quite a lot on here. First off, we have a new 2K scan of the film from the Interpositive, new audio commentary with author and film historian Steve Haberman and filmmaker film historian Konstantin Nazir, introduction to the making of the Brides of Dracula, and then the making of the Brides of Dracula, featuring interviews with actress Yvonne Monlar, screenwriter Jimmy Sangster, assistant director Hugh Harlow, continuity supervisor Pauline Harlow, art director Don Mingay, model maker Margaret Robinson, and producer Anthony Hines, narrated by Edward D'Souza. Then we have the original theatrical trailer and a still gallery. So quite a nice deluxe edition of this film, especially considering prior to Scream Factory getting the license and doing this nice collector's edition, it was only available in this bare bones edition from Universal Pictures, which, you know, was a decent enough transfer, but it's nice to have the new transfer on the new edition. So carrying on, we have the third film in the series and the return of Christopher Lee as the Count, but relying entirely on his physical presence to exude menace upon his victims, because apparently he was so displeased with the dialogue in the script that he refused to utter a single syllable of it. So it's actually a silent performance by Christopher Lee, but with no shortage of menace, I tell you. Like, he doesn't need to speak a word to be completely menacing and terrifying as everyone's favorite Count. So, oh, that's upside down. There we go. And it's the same on both sides there. And if we look on the back, very nice indeed. Once again, a nice selection of extras from Scream Factory. And if we slide this out, you can see we do have the original poster art there as well. And as always, reversible cover. I always do that with these. I flip it around to the poster art for the keep case, and then of course we have the new art on the slip cover. But quite nice indeed. And it's great, of course, to have Christopher Lee back, because that's really why you're watching these Hammer Dracula films, isn't it? You want to see the man himself in all his menacing, charming glory. So in terms of extras, we have, this one has actually a new 4K scan of the original film elements, new audio commentary with author Troy Howarth, another audio commentary by Christopher Lee himself, Susan Farmer, Francis Matthews, and Barbara Shelley, the World of Hammer episode, Dracula and the Undead, documentary Back to Black, the theatrical trailer, and a still gallery. So very, very nice. So Dracula, Prince of Darkness. Next we have the fourth in the series, and another Warner release. This was not released through Warner Archive. This was a wider release. We have Dracula Has Risen from the Grave. Yes. Very nice indeed. So, sadly, once again, a bare bones release. Not much to speak of here, but just nice to have it on Blu-ray. And, wow, look at that disc art. Just amazing. Yeah, that's okay. Just nice to have the movie in high def. And then we have the fifth movie in the saga, Taste the Blood of Dracula. Yes. Now, in case you're wondering, yes, I will do reviews of all of these films at some point, maybe even this Halloween. I don't know. We'll see. I got a lot on the slate this year, so we'll see if we get around to these. But at the very least, I thought I'd give you a closer look at them in case you were wondering what order they go in, who released what, and what, if any, extras are available, which ones have the uncut versions, which ones don't, etc. So, there we go. Taste the Blood of Dracula. Again, not much to speak of in terms of extras, but we do at least get some of the original poster art on there, which is quite nice. Next up, we go back to Scream Factory for the sixth film in the Dracula cycle, Scars of Dracula. This was the first one from the 70s, and actually I think the first film, or one of the first films Hammer did after the censor board kind of laxed up on some of their rules and modified the rating system slightly. So this is by far the goriest of all of the Dracula films. It's like almost ridiculously gory. Like it's like they just let the floodgates open when they changed the rating system. It's like, oh, we can just go all out with the blood and guts, so we're going to go for broke and really kick this party off with a bang. But, yeah, there's some pretty genuinely horrifying scenes in this, which, of course, I loved. So, if we crack it open here, no really reversible cover on this one. It's just a shot from the film. Let me actually slide that out, and we'll get a slightly better look at the artwork there. Yeah, that's a little better. Not filtered through the blue of the case. Yeah, very nice. Very nice indeed. Yeah, I actually liked this one quite a bit. It's a fun one. But as I say, we'll go into more depth when we do the movie by movie reviews at some point in time before I die. Alrighty. So this one does have some extras on it. We have this is actually pretty cool, and Scream Factory's done this for a few. By the way, Doctor Number 2, Patrick Troughton, right there. Yeah, you get to see him gleefully whistling a happy tune and dismembering a corpse in one scene, which is Absolutely delightful. Um, so it is actually presented in 2 aspect ratios, which is kind of cool. You have the very common European aspect ratio of 1.66 to 1, and the very common U.S. aspect ratio of 1.85 to 1. So whichever you prefer, you can watch it that way. The 1.66 is technically the correct one because that's how it would have appeared in the UK. And it's also slightly less cropped than 1.85, so you get a little bit more image area there. We've got a new audio commentary by filmmaker and film historian Konstantin Nazir and filmmaker film historian Ted Newsom. Blood Rites, Inside Scars of Dracula. Another audio commentary with star Christopher Lee and director Roy Ward Baker, moderated by Hammer film historian Marcus Hearn. Theatrical trailer and still gallery. So I'm guessing these old, these Christopher Lee commentaries are archival ones that they managed to get their hands on. You know, something from maybe old DVD releases or something. I don't know. Anyway, really cool to have those on these releases. I'm sure those will be interesting listening. Christopher Lee was just endlessly fascinating to listen to with his tales. And next up we have the, what is it, 7th? Yes, the 7th film in the Dracula cycle, Dracula A.D. 1972. Now this is kind of a soft reboot for the Dracula series because it doesn't quite tie in with the previous 6, whereas the previous 6 do give you a pretty solid, cohesive, continuing saga. Each one picks up where the last left off. This one kind of, well, it shifts things to modern days. So they're no longer period pieces. And then it kind of takes things in a different direction. But one nice thing about it is we have Peter Cushing back. So Peter Cushing as Van Helsing, once again going head-to-head with Dracula. And that's a lot of fun. So it's good to at least have them back. Yeah, these modern ones, I know Christopher Lee didn't care for them very much. He felt they strayed too far from the source material, the character, and the concept. But, I don't know, I think they're kind of fun. I have a bit of a soft spot for them. They're cheesy, but they're fun. And then we have Christopher Lee's final appearance as the Count in the Hammer Dracula films, the Satanic Rites of Dracula. Yeah, again, this one's kind of fun. I actually have an old DVD release of this, just a crappy public domain print, so it was quite a revelation getting that on Blu-ray. You know, very, very nice. And then, once again, just bare bones, nothing much to speak of. And then the final Dracula film in the saga does not have Christopher Lee, but does have Peter Cushing. We have The Legend of the 7 Golden Vampires, also known as the 7 Brothers Meet Dracula. So this is basically Dracula meets Kung Fu. This was one of 2 films that Hammer did in collaboration with the Shaw Brothers, famous Kung Fu movie studio. And honestly, it's a lot of fun. I like this movie a lot. So this actually includes both cuts. It gives you Legend of the 7 Golden Vampires, which is the full-length, uncut UK version, and The 7 Brothers Meet Dracula, which is the extremely heavily edited to the point of being nearly incomprehensible US cut. Yeah, so if you really want both, you got both, but Legend of the 7 Golden Vampires is definitely the way to go as far as the superior cut. And there we go. So there is a reversible cover with this one, which I'll show you in just a sec. So let's just quickly go over the special features. So this is a new 2K scan of the original film elements. It has new audio commentary with author and film historian Bruce Hallenbeck, a new interview with Hong Kong film expert Rick Baker, the alternate U.S. theatrical version, The 7 Brothers Meet Dracula, which I already mentioned, TV spot, still gallery, and theatrical trailer. So it's definitely a nice deluxe edition, considering this was kind of an obscure one, a little bit hard to find for a while. So Scream Factory really went all out with this. And there is the alternate cover with the alternate poster art, The 7 Brothers Meet Dracula. 7 brothers and 1 sister, actually. So, yeah, don't forget the sister. She kicks butt in this. Alrighty, so let's just slide this back in here. And there we go. And I figure since we kind of got skunked out of extras with all the Warner releases, and kind of related to this, I thought just for fun, and because I don't really have anywhere else to slot it in, We take a look at Shatter, which is the second and final collaboration between Hammer Films and Shaw Brothers. This is basically a crime thriller with some, action and kung fu elements. But, yeah, kind of a fun one. And very nice to have both of the Shaw Brothers collaborations. We'll just take a look here. There you go. And this has a reversible cover as well. Call him Mr. Shatter. Gee, is that a play on the Call Me Mr. Tibbs, maybe? Yeah, I think so. But anyway, the original title was just Shatter. So, there you go. Now, in terms of extras, we got a few goodies on here. Let's see. So we have a new 2K scan of the uncut film elements, audio commentary with uncredited co-director Monty Hellman and actor Stuart Whitman, moderated by Norman Hill, World of Hammer episode Chiller, theatrical trailer, and TV spots. And there you go. And this does also have Peter Cushing in it, but not as Van Helsing. So, there you go. That is the complete Hammer Films Dracula cycle, as it would appear on your shelf. So we got Horror of Dracula, The Brides of Dracula, Dracula Prince of Darkness, Dracula is Risen from the Grave, Taste the Blood of Dracula, Scars of Dracula, Dracula A.D. 1972, The Satanic Rites of Dracula, and The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. And then, just because, we have Shatter. So there you have it. All 9 Hammer Dracula films as they appear on Blu-ray in North America. And in the correct chronological order so you know how to watch them. Now, I do plan to do movie-by-movie reviews of them at some point. I'm not sure when, but it's definitely a series I'd like to dive into a little more in-depth. But I thought we'd start off just kind of with a quick overview so you know what the chronology was and just kind of get a sense of how the series evolved over the years. Alrighty, well that is it for this time around. Hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to add any of those titles to your collection, please check the description for Amazon links. As always, I do appreciate those of you who use my Amazon links because it does help to support the show. Big thanks to my Patreon sponsors. Big thanks to you for watching. Be sure to catch me on Twitch. I stream just about every day, and I will see you next time. Until then, sayonara.